Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend I don't want to go to the grocery store after work? I work 12-hour shifts whereas my girlfriend works 8-hour max and oftentimes 4 depending on if she gets flexed or not. At least once a week she asks me to stop by the store on my way home and grab kombucha, only she drinks, or random other stuff like beer, Diet Coke or snacks. Usually she went grocery shopping that same day and says she forgot an item or so. Considering I leave before her and get home after her with only a few hours at the end of my day to rest, I finally started telling her no and I am made to be the bad guy. No assholes here yet, but come on. Don't become the guy who won't contribute anything to the household beyond a paycheck. I understand that you're tired after work, but part of being an adult member of a household is that sometimes when you're the one who's out and your partner realizes, oh shoot, we're out of XYZ. You stop at the store and grab XYZ. Sorry, edit. I know the answer to the judgment bot is often glossed over, so if you're reading this thread and confused, or weirdly hostile, over discussions below about her cooking for him, it's in the answer to the judgment bot. Some of y'all are getting extremely aggressive over a, no assholes here, judgment. If you want her to handle all the homemaking, then don't ask her to pay any bill. Simple. Info. How much do you both work in total outside the home? What chores are you responsible for inside the home? You are the asshole. It's only going to get worse for your relationship if this is beginning to be a breaking point for you. And only once a week? You're more than a paycheck. Get something for yourself too. Sounds like you guys need to start dating each other again. Info. How long does it take to get to the store from work, and how much time does it add to your route? You are the asshole. Listen, I have had a job where I worked 12-hour shifts. My partner did not work outside the home at the time, but if he asked me to pick up something on the way home, I just did it. Because I am contributing more than money to my household. Am I the asshole for donating my roommate's family heirloom to Goodwill? I've 22 female. Posted here about my roommate, 24 female, before. She has always had issues contributing to the household, including buying things like toilet paper, dish soap, laundry detergent, etc. She also rarely does her dishes promptly or takes out the trash or other household chores, and struggles to pay utilities on time. Sometimes I even have to hound her for the rent. I felt bad at first because clearly she wasn't equipped to live alone, but I quickly got frustrated and became short with her. We were friends at first but not so much anymore after I've had to put up with her for this long. Our year-long lease ended and we have been living month to month since then. Eventually she got a boyfriend. He lives with his parents but that hasn't stopped her from spending most of her time at their house. I started seeing her less and less. A couple days into May I hadn't seen her for maybe 2 weeks. I texted and called her to see when she was going to pay her share of rent, due on the 5th, but she basically ghosted me. I got in contact with her mom and eventually my roommate reached out to say she's staying with her boyfriend's family, for now, and doesn't think she should be expected to pay rent for somewhere she's not staying. I kindly asked if that meant she would be moving out but she didn't respond. I paid rent myself, which was a huge unexpected expense. After that I decided I was done. I texted her over the course of May and June asking her to move her stuff out but she didn't respond to me. Her mom kept promising me that her daughter would take care of it but she never once got back to me. After July started I recruited a couple friends to help me pack up the stuff in her room and donated most of it to Goodwill and the Salvation Army. I also asked the landlord to change the locks, which he did. The other evening she finally shows up and is mad that the locks have been changed. I told her she's not living here and doesn't pay rent so she has no reason to enter the apartment. She got even more upset and said that she was never moving out, she was just staying with him for the time being. She told me the situation didn't work out so she planned to come back and live here again. I told her that she was already off the lease and it's my rental now. She started crying and said she had nowhere else to go and I felt really bad. She asked if she could at least get some of her stuff. She needed some clean clothes and a shower. I told her that because she never told me she was coming back or made plans to move her stuff out, I donated everything that was in her room unless it looked precious or expensive and stored the rest in her closet. She completely freaked out and threatened to call the police on me. She was inconsolable. She cried about how I even donated her dead grandmother's wedding dress, which had been in a special box somewhere in her room. I apologized profusely because I did feel really bad, but it all could have been avoided if she had tried to communicate with me. Am I the asshole? Edit. I told her by July I would start getting rid of things if she didn't make plans to do it herself. Where I live, a unit is considered abandoned once they vacate and owe rent. The cost of the items being donated will determine how long I need to store them before getting rid of them. I asked her to make arrangements for her things beginning in early May, which she ignored. I emphasized in June that I would be donating her things by July, which she also ignored. Additionally, her mother was aware the whole time and promised me her daughter would take care of it by June 30th, which she didn't. She can't have it both ways in a month-to-month situation. Not live there so she doesn't pay rent but then demand access to her stuff because she lives there without having paid rent, storage fees for those months? Sounds like she was playing house and keen to ignore your Debbie Downer texts about her real-life situation. But this started in May. This is on her, not the asshole. Not the asshole. Once she skipped out on May rent and it was clear her intention on not paying her rent was because she was not staying there, makes it clear that she's no longer your roommate. She now has 30 days from that date to get all her stuff out. You are not a storage facility. You gave her 60 days to get her stuff and she did not. She had 60 days to get her belongings. She expected to lay low, skip out on 3 months worth of rent, and just come back like NBD, and we all know she was never going to pay you back for her share of May, June or July rent. She can kick rocks. Not the asshole. She literally and legally abandoned her belongings. You got rid of these things that she treated as if she didn't want to claim them. You are not a free storage facility for anyone. You did nothing wrong and have nothing for which to apologize or feel guilty or responsible. Hope this girl learns from her mistake. #stop apologizing to her. That's not the way the world works. If she rented an apartment on her own, not a single landlord in the world would roll over on rent just because she wasn't sleeping there. Anywhere your stuff is, you pay rent for. It doesn't matter if you don't sleep there. You still are paying for space that your stuff is taking up. You couldn't get a second roommate because her stuff was in your apartment. So she owes you rent. She abandoned her belongings by not getting back to. Any judge will see it that way too. Not the asshole. If she cared so much about her things, she would have acted like an adult and communicated with you. You are not a storage facility and that's what she treated you as. It's sad some of her things may have been heirlooms, but that's on her, not you. Not the asshole. Had you done that within the first few weeks you would have been but over 2 months of no contact and not paying any bills. Yeah, she doesn't live there anymore and neither does her stuff. This is the lesson she needs to quit acting like a child and be an adult. Am I the asshole for telling my identical twin sister to stop calling us fat twins? I, 23 female, have an identical twin sister who loves the idea that we have a psychic connection. We were thin during our childhood. I stayed in my home state and she went to a university in a different state. While far away, we both got very overweight and were only 20 pounds apart. My sister is back in our home state and she's amazed that we had a similar change. She's been calling us fat twins. I eventually told her I stopped calling us that and she got upset. She said if I don't like how I look then I must dislike how she looks. She said I'm shallow and ignoring our special bond. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Tell her as you have a psychic connection she must understand how you feel and to stop. Not the asshole. This would motivate me to lose a bunch of weight and affectionately call her fat twin. Not the asshole. It's not about self-image. It's the fact that she's wandering around telling people you're fat. Her including herself in the insult doesn't change the insult. I would try to lose the weight out of pure spite. Not the asshole. She's probably been dreading meeting you again and being the fat twin, so when she saw that you had gained weight as well, she felt relieved and smug. And now she won't stop talking about it. She's the shallow one. Not the asshole. Not everyone is comfortable being called fat. You can tell her it's not about how each of you look, just about how you feel in your body, physically. Would I be the asshole if I cancelled my husband's birthday party? Too long did not read. Sister-in-law didn't want to go to my husband's birthday party and is now expecting us to plan another since she can't afford to host another one herself. Would I be the asshole for saying no? His birthday was last month. His family is obsessed with celebrating birthdays, even though we are all 30 plus. That's fine, but you can understand how hard it is to get 10 plus family and friends together for every single birthday when everyone is working different schedules. When his birthday was approaching, I had heard nothing about plans but knew his sister had bought him tons of gifts, so I stepped up and sent out an invite for something my husband wanted to do, a barbecue at the beach. Free, relaxing, and a chance to enjoy the beautiful weather. His sister responded, disappointed, that she and her family would actually prefer dinner at a restaurant because they want to be indoors, in the AC. My first thoughts were that, if you are invited to an event that you can't or don't want to attend for some reason, asking the host to cancel or change those plans entirely is quite rude. In an effort to stand our ground, we let them know we were going ahead with the barbecue, but if they wanted to plan a separate birthday dinner, they were welcome to. So, sister-in-law chooses this upcoming weekend for a family feast-style dinner at a nearby restaurant. Neat. We adjust our schedules to accommodate. As the day approaches, husband reaches out to sister to ask what the plans are. Turns out, she has nothing planned, hasn't invited anyone else, hasn't made reservations, and hasn't looked at the menu to calculate the cost breakdown. The family meals at the restaurant come to $120 each, feeding 4 people. That would feed Sil's family alone. With the rest of us added, we would need at least 2 meals to feed everyone. When we talked all this over with Sil, she realized that the cost splitting would still be over $30 pp. That's when she admitted that they just paid their bills and can't afford it. No worries. Sorry it didn't work out. Nope. She's now asking us to plan something else, something that's less expensive, because she's out of ideas. Can we have the party at your place? Why, so I get to buy all the food and stress about prepping the apartment to host on short notice. Wish we could, but our house is a mess while we're reorganizing. She is currently waiting for us to think of something else. Considering 1. We already hosted a birthday party that she didn't want to go to. 2. Her poor planning would have ended with us footing a $200 plus bill. And 3. The series of inconsiderate requests. My husband and I are ready to cancel. Knowing this would break her heart, would I be the asshole? Not the asshole, but you don't need to cancel anything because nothing is actually planned. Just let the idea fizzle out. Seems strange she wants a party for her brother when he already had one. Seems more about her than him. Tell her, maybe next year, and don't stress about it. She chose not to come to the beach party, not your problem. Not the asshole, although you have nothing to cancel. Don't plan anything, no dates, no events. If sister-in-law brings it up, respond. We recently hosted an event and have no plans or reason to host another anytime soon. If she pushes because she missed his birthday, respond. We are fine that you missed his birthday celebration that we held last month. You don't have to do anything more. You already marked it with your generous gifts. If your husband wants, he can suggest the 2 of them grab lunch sometime. Not the asshole. You're only the asshole to yourself if you plan a second birthday party according to Sil's preferences. You had a party. She chose to skip it. If she had planned a second gathering, it would have been gracious of you to attend, though you were certainly under no obligation to do so. But to ask you to plan a second party based on her preferences? Do you have doormat stamped across your forehead? Tell her, sis, have you lost your mind? Because I'll help you find it. And let that be the end of it. Edit. When it's someone's birthday, you do things that they enjoy. You would think someone from a family obsessed with birthday celebrations would know this. Not the asshole. You already had his birthday party, so there is nothing to cancel. Whatever his sister wants to do is on her. She's somehow made his birthday about her, and you don't need to feed into that. Not the asshole. She had the chance to attend a party and declined. The restaurant was her chance to do her own thing. That was 2 chances.